What is up, you guys? In today's video, I'm going to tell you the top characteristics that have been found inside of the minds and the hearts of successful entrepreneurs and how you can develop these as well. Let's dive in. All right, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. As always, I'm your host, Zach Vaught, and I'm so glad that you're here. In today's episode, I want to talk about the top characteristics of successful business owners and how you can grow in these characteristics as well. And so one of the things that I hope that you know, hopefully through watching our content, is that business is not just a strategy game. It is a matter of the mind and a matter of your will and determination. And can you survive the tough times? And can you keep going when you don't feel like it? I'm be honest with you guys, we've had a lot of people come into the Woodworking Business Accelerator program that stepped into a place where they had the strategy, they had everything that they needed in order to succeed, and they ended up failing because of the internal characteristics, the things that they didn't have that aren't tangible. You know, it's not, do I have the marketing strategy? Do I have the sales strategy? Do I have the ability to produce the furniture? It's, do I have the stability inside of my heart and my mind in order to scale and grow when things get hard, right? That is a huge determining factor inside of successful entrepreneurs. And so I want to give you 5 characteristics today that if you can develop these 5 characteristics, you will be a successful business owner. You'll be a successful entrepreneur. So number 1, the first thing I'll say is that you have to be incredibly logical. People that think logically inside of their business once they get started, and here's the kicker. You almost have to be not very logical when you're getting started, because the whole, you read statistics, 90% of businesses fail. Well, logic would tell you that, well, that doesn't make any sense for me to even try. So you have to be a little bit illogical when you are getting started. You have to have a undying belief in yourself. You can defy the statistics. But once you get into business, then you have to be really logical. You have to be able to think also from a number standpoint. So like, guys, I'll just tell you, like if you just totally suck at numbers and you don't understand it at all, you got to start developing some skills around that, some basic accounting, some basic addition and subtraction, and just understanding how to improve your margins and things like that. And that's also, again, something that we help with inside of the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. But you got to be logical. So you got to understand the ebbs and flows of business, and you got to set proper expectations for your business. You're not going to constantly be doing this in business. You're going to be doing this. And the trend will do this as long as you stay with it, but you're not going to have just great day after great day after great day. You're going to have some bad days in there as well. And that's the truth. Anybody that's been in business for any amount of time will tell you that you're going to get kicked in the head by your business or by your customers or whatever comes down the pipe, right? So you got to be prepared for that. So number 1 is logic. You got to be logical. Number 2 is you have to be incredibly patient. This is I would probably say the most important one, is you have to be incredibly patient. I heard something one time on a podcast that just changed everything for me. He said, if you can just keep your business alive for 5 years, it'll end up being successful. And that may not be the case for everybody, but for me, I just figured out, like, I'm just going to keep making small steps and make incremental improvements and keep this thing going for 5 years. And we started getting more and more and more success at a faster rate toward the end of that 5-year period of time. And so being patient and understanding that it doesn't always happen overnight. It doesn't always happen as quickly. In fact, it never happens as quickly as we want it to. And so just trusting the process. And there's a thing that Gary Vee says that I love: macro patience and micro speed. So big picture, I'm very patient. Micro, in the day-to-day, I want to move quickly. So I want to make things happen as fast as I can on a day-to-day basis, so that long-term, I know that it's going to take a while, but if I can compress that timeline by walking in micro speed, that's going to be super helpful. So number 2 is patient. Number 3 is strategic. This one is super important, because people tend to get just kind of set in their ways. They start a business and the business maybe experiences a little bit of success and they say, oh, this is the path. Clearly, this is the only thing that we need to do, and this is the only way that we're going to do it. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Your strategy needs to be ever evolving, and you need to be constantly looking at how can we add more revenue? How can we minimize risk, minimize overhead? How can we be strategic about the moves that we're making to make our business more profitable, more successful, and more fun to operate? That's one thing that I am a huge proponent of. You want to enjoy your business, right? So how do I get strategic so that I can make sure that I'm operating this thing at the fullness of what it could be. And again, this is something that we do help you with inside of the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. Our coaches work with you on strategies and processes and, hey, should I pursue this or should I pursue this? What's going to be the better option here? We've helped guys go from brand new to signing their first commercial contract and moving into a commercial space, right? Hiring their first employee or their fifth employee when they started in their garage eight or 10 months ago, right? So we help with these things. And so, but this is a characteristic that you've got to have. You got to be strategic. Number 4, this one's kind of a no-brainer. You got to be hardworking. I think most of the people that are watching this channel probably are hardworking. You're probably got a little bit of a blue collar heritage about you. There's an element of grit that you probably have if you're wanting to be a woodworker. But one of the things that too many people downplay is just the speed and the tenacity that you bring to your work environment. And this is something that I talk about all the time. You can work faster. You can work harder. You can bring more energy to what you're doing and more attention to what you're doing. And this sometimes is a big challenge and is a big issue for guys that aren't experiencing the success that they want to experience. And so you've got to be hardworking. And then this is the last one. This was number 5 of the top characteristics of successful entrepreneurs, is that they are lifelong learners. They're addicted to learning and addicted to getting better. Guys, if you're not learning, if you're not growing, which by the way, you're here and watching this video, so you obviously, I'm preaching to the choir, you are learning. You are focused on getting better and getting the strategies and getting the skills and getting the wherewithal to continue to grow your business. But you can't just do it on this little small level. And then like once you get to here, well, then I'm good. I don't have to learn anymore. You need to constantly be asking yourself, what's the next thing that I need to learn to take my business to the next level? What's the next thing that I need to learn to take my relationships to the next level? What's the next thing that I need to learn to take me as a man or as a person to the next level? And so these are important questions. As you start being strategic and as you start being logical and you start asking yourself these questions, what's the next thing that I need to learn? You're going to see the roadmap. You're going to see the roadmap of, oh, this is a problem that I got to figure out how to solve. This is the next problem. This is the next problem. And you will figure things out step by step by step. You know, it's so funny. When I first started my business, I'd never owned a business before. I'd never run a business before. My wife hadn't either. You know, we don't come from entrepreneur families or backgrounds. I started my woodworking business and we got 2 or 3 months into it. She looked at me one day and she goes, you know, you really should have knew a lot more about this before you started. Which honestly might have been a fair assessment, but we were frustrated about something and she's like, I wish you'd have known a lot more about this before you got started. But the truth is that there's no way that you're going to know everything that you need to know before you get started. You've got to start. And once you start, then the map will be unfolded. Then the trail will be lit up with the flashlight. You'll see the next step as you go. And it takes some faith. It takes some courage. But you got to be logical. You got to be patient. You got to be strategic. You got to work hard. And you got to be addicted to learning as you go. So hopefully this video is helpful and encouraging to you. What do you need to work on? Let me know in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. This channel is packed full of hundreds of videos, literally diving into woodworking business principles that are going to help you scale and grow your woodworking business. So we got some resources for you in the description below. Got a free ebook, a low cost beginner program, and then if you're really ready to scale to 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 per month and beyond, check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. So with that being said, love you all. I'll see you in the next one.